Trump's senior advisor, Jason Miller, says the president's congressional address will be must-see TV. Watch this.
I think this is more important than ever because not only of what we've seen President Trump do in this first month in office, but what comes next is so critical. And this is what you touched on, because the country is in a really bad place from where Joe Biden left it, even with all the fantastic accomplishments that, by the way, I think George Washington and all the rest of the presidents would envy, is what President Trump does to finish getting our country back on track.
And look who's here now, Kim Strassel from the Wall Street Journal. All right, Kim, what do you expect to hear from Trump tomorrow night?
Hi, Stuart. Well, look, I think he's going to spend some real time talking about accomplishments, and that's why this is important, too, because you've got what the press talks about. They want to focus on DOJ and the lawsuits. This is an opportunity for the president to talk about a lot of things like the border, his energy policy, what he's doing to cut regulations that are going to get to the growth that some of your prior guests were just talking about. Those are the things we can expect. There's also what I hope he does, which is to indeed look to the future, especially make the case on some of those really important things that Republicans are going to have to tackle if they want to move forward and fix things. For example, Medicaid reform. This is an opportunity for him to talk about a program that is deeply important to vulnerable people in the country, but has been twisted by waste, fraud, duplicative spending, abuse. Democrats are salivating to go after Republicans on this, but you need to be able to make the case for it if they want to cut the deficit and make space for those tax policies that they want to extend this year.
In your latest op-ed in the Journal, you say Republicans should not get smug. You say they are repeating the Democrats' mistakes. Okay, which mistakes are you talking about, Kim?
Yeah, well, to be clear, this was a column 90% about Democrats. I have to tell you, Stuart, in 30 years of covering politics, I have never seen a party so lost. But this did not happen in one election or overnight. It happened over decades. And it was a result of the rise of the progressive movement, but not just becoming one voice in the party, taking it over and then actively getting rid of anybody who did not agree with them, with primaries, by making moderates or centrists take tough votes that lost them elections, so that everybody these days looks like Elizabeth Warren. And while they might know what the voters want them to do, they have no memory or no leaders there that know how to have common sense anymore. That's just the warning to Republicans. We're seeing a little bit of that right now. A lot of people saying if you do not agree 99%, 100% with everything this administration says, you might be 95% there, but we won't even tolerate the 5% we're going to primary you. That's worrisome. You need all those voices and ideas in a party.
It seems like the Democrats are falling back on just Trump hatred, Trump derangement syndrome. I noticed that Senator Schiff called the president a coward after the Oval Office meltdown last Friday. Are they falling back into that old way of doing things in the first term?
It's their only way of doing things, and that's the point, Stuart. This is muscle memory because they don't have anything else. I mean, if you ask, okay, who's the leader who stands up right now in the Democratic Party that doesn't sound like crazy AOC or Elizabeth Warren? There's nobody out there really anymore. Even those who claim to be moderate Democrats, they'll have a few token issues where they'll say, yes, I think maybe we're a little off the rails, but 90% of everything else, they are right there. So who do they get that actually can craft a compelling message that resonates with Americans? They don't have those folks in their ranks right now. They've gotten rid of them all.
Oh, dear. Kim Strassel, always a pleasure. Thanks very much for being with us, Kim. We'll see you again soon.
You too. Bye, Stuart.